What's happening? What up? What it do? That's for sure. But everybody in our city says, what up, doe? What up? What up, doe? What's going on, everybody? Big salute to the replay gang. Big salute to everybody coming in and out of the live. If you're new here, make sure you hit that sub button. Comment, share the live in my TikTok voice. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for the fair use for the purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use, y'all. You heard me say it. You can't say I didn't. It's in the chat. It's in the description. Y'all know the rest. Big M, you're late.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to get in. It wouldn't let me in. It kept saying my mic wasn't working. So I've been here since about 3 o'clock, about 5 6 minutes though. Okay.
Okay. I just like giving you a hard time. I'm glad you're here. Salute to Humble Queen. How are you?
About 3 minutes though, for real. I was looking for 3 minutes. I'm all right, and you? You've been missing in action.
Yeah. I'm good.
Just so y'all know, it wasn't me that we wasn't. It wasn't me that we didn't have no show. It's because my partner was missing in action.
Yeah, life was life, and sometimes it'd be like that. But Big M, we might soon we might have some people that are gonna come up and chit chat about some cases with us. I've been trying to work on it to get some guests, so just so you know. But just so you know.
That would be nice. The more people I can talk to besides you.
Was a good one. That was a good one. So everybody, if you're in here or if you come in late, the StreamYard link is right here. It's pinned in the comments. So if you all want to come up here, I don't bite, but Big M does. But we would love to see how you feel.
I don't bite, but I try to let you know my point.
So Big M, what we're gonna talk about today is so there's a little bit of an update in both the Nolan Wells case in Ohio. We know I seen it. Did you see the pictures of the two guys?
In Ohio? Yes, the brother-in-law and the cousin.
Yo, wait a minute. I did not know it was the brother-in-law and the cousin. Wait a minute. Whose brother-in-law is it?
Gary's Junior's brother-in-law. What is the sister name? Virginia?
Oh wait, so Gary's got a sister?
Yes. Remember the sister came out and she was talking in the beginning. And she said that her parents fell sick or whatever. Her husband or her ex-husband, whatever, but yes.
Dang, Big M, I'm behind on this one. You lying.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So I believe, I'm gonna say this. Big M, I feel like they were trading kids and shit.
Yes, ma'am. And there's another kid. It's two other kids that they were actually did a DNA test for Gary. That's why why they ended up finding the kids. They wanted to get Gary's in DNA.
Yeah, the video that I'm gonna play is called the DNA that exposed 16 kids. So I think that's they wanted his DNA, and that's how they found the 16 kids. Because remember, Big M, this is two separate cases.
Remember they kept saying inter-family thing. We kept thinking, what was that, incest or something like that? No, the person that they molested had to be in their family, but not in their immediate family.
And they said it wasn't right.
And then the guys that they were originally at, the other two guys, are some kin to them. One is a cousin, and one is the husband and sister.
This is crazy, dude. So I'm gonna ask you before we get into it, Big M. Do you believe that Elizabeth is still a victim?
Yes and no.
Hold on, cause now you're at yes and no. Before you're with me now, cause I'm still at yes and no. You kind of you got me to, cause at first I was like stone cold no, but I'm in between. But why have you came from she's a victim to yes and no?
because of the new charges that they have, that they're both in, and I just think is more to it. I think that she was actually, like the brother said, um,
If
indoctrinated.
they're just charging her because she's married to him.
No, she had to participate in some type of way. I think that she was scared for her life, or was scared. I mean, this man had groomed her since she was 15. I mean, 11 or something. She's 32 years old. This is all she knows, and whatever he says goes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Big M. You know, like it's kind of sad because off rip, she was groomed. Okay, she was groomed off rip, like the age and being married, and then again, but it's like kind of weird because remember her brother came out and people were asking like, your parents, how come they just let your sister get married? You know what I'm saying? Like to just, like, it's like her. I don't know. This shit's deep, Big M.
I asked my auntie. She has 7 kids, and I asked her. I said, "So my uncle wanted. I mean, after you had your baby, she was like, I did not want to think about no sex, nothing like that. For our God, my kids were all C-sections. So I'm like, so I ask people, well, if you had a baby natural, you would want to have a sex, get pregnant before your 6 weeks is up. Have a baby twice a year.
My mom had 5 vaginal births, 5 girls. And me and Shantae, I was 2 days shy of being born exactly on her birthday, and we're Irish twins, so we're the same age for 2 days. And I was like, dang, mom, like you didn't listen to the doctor and wait 6 weeks.
She did, because that was a year. She did wait.
No, that's crazy though. But did you ask your aunt like what did you ask your aunt?
Would she be wanting to do that? You think that's something a woman want to do? She was like, hell no, woman, a right man wouldn't want to do that. Not no 20 times. No. Ain't that
I'm
much
saying
love in the world.
I agree. What fucking woman in their right mind? That is perfect. And like we should. I'm gonna ask a couple people. You know what I'm saying, that I know have been mothers. And that have. And I'm gonna ask you. You asked your aunt. I'm gonna ask you, Big M. Like you have three. You had 3 boys, right? Would you want to have fucking 16 kids? Like, would you want to? Do you think that Elizabeth liked being pregnant?
You like being pregnant. You was not about to do this 20 times. I don't care how much you like it. Then you're not going to the hospital. Then you have 4 twins back to back, to the twins back to back.
No, I
Come
noticed that,
on.
Big M. The last 4 set of kids, because remember they said there was reports. There was a CPS report the school made when they lived in the other county and they dropped the ball. Remember that they signed her up for online school and she never logged in, and she couldn't even, and she was way behind, and nothing was done about it. But that's when they only had 9 kids, and then these last 4, it was 2, 4, 6 kids, literally.
Repeat that. My granddaughter was talking to me.
No, I was saying, do you remember? So there's word around town that there's a report made when they only had 9 kids and they lived in the old house, and the kid was supposed to get online and never logged in, and they only had 9 kids, and then the last were 2, 4, 6. The last set of kids were twins, and I was like, damn, and you know what I'm saying? That's crazy work. Like that's crazy.
That's diabolical. Forget being crazy, because I don't know who wants somebody to hunk on you all that many times. She ain't got no walls.
Big M, do you think Gary's the father to all 16 children?
I don't know. Maybe he's prostituting her or giving her. I don't know.
I'm gonna say this. I think no, because I feel like the brother-in-law and cousin, like if he wasn't around, they took advantage of the situation. I don't feel like maybe Gary necessarily knew. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think?
I think he always kept her around. He didn't work. You look at it, tell him he didn't work. And
You're
then
right.
why
Like
was he
yeah,
so big and everybody was so skinny and frail? He was a big guy.
Yeah, this one's deep, Big M. But we're gonna go ahead and listen and react, and then we'll get into Nolan in a little bit. But let's go ahead and listen, and yeah, justice for these 16 children. This is crazy work.
Ohio Attorney General's pre-recorded statement runs just under 2 minutes. The language is careful, sanitized, designed to close the door on public speculation. These cases began as an investigation into family child sex abuse. Then comes the line that should make every listener stop cold. Law enforcement sought the DNA of Gary Sider's Jr., related to the child sex abuse case. That is the sentence. That is the hinge. The state confirmed that a search warrant for one man's genetic material is what led investigators to a house on Murr Street where 16 children were found living in a 12 by 12 room. Not a noise complaint, not a truancy report, not a concerned neighbor. DNA. That single biological marker became the key that opened a door investigators apparently did not know they needed to open.
It turns out there are actually 3 parallel investigations happening. Investigators started out investigating allegations of child abuse in December of last year. That led to charges against 2 men. And this is interesting. These men are names that we haven't really been focused on before. But the 2 men who were charged are Josh Saunders and Brandon Henderson. And then while investigating them, investigators began looking into Elizabeth and Gary Siders. That's according to NBC4. And they say that Gary Siders Jr. and Elizabeth Siders have now both been indicted on 2 counts of sexual battery and 2 counts of unlawful conduct with a minor. We don't know who the victims of the sexual abuse are, which is pretty typical. Like it's, that kind of stuff remains secret, especially since they are minors, it seems. But officials said the victims were not the couple's children. According to NBC4, records show that Henderson, remember he's one of the new names, Brandon Henderson, one of the new guys who was arrested, that he is part of the larger Siders family. Exactly what that means, I'm not sure. It's confusing. Authorities are being very, very tight-lipped. They're just giving out really the basics of this information.
Think of this case as a house with 2 separate foundations. The first foundation is what the public saw in June of 2026. 16 children, ages ranging from 18 months to 18 years, described by investigators as almost feral, living in filth. The second foundation is what existed under that house for months before anyone arrived with a warrant. A child sex abuse investigation. 2 men already charged. A search for DNA. And when authorities showed up to swab Gary Siders Jr.'s cheek, they found a crime scene that had nothing to do with why they came. That is the visual you need to hold on to. The search warrant was not about the children in that room. The children in that room were incidental to a different investigation entirely. They were discovered by accident. And that accident now raises a question that should sit heavy over every new court filing. If investigators had never needed Gary Siders Jr.'s DNA, would those 16 children still be in that room right now? Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Endless Crime, because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence.
Big M.
Yep, they would. If you're still in that room. Yep, they would still be in that room.
Hell yeah, they would be.
Come on, would have been dead. 2 of them would have died.
And okay, again, the youngest is 18 fucking months, okay? And the last 3 set of babies they had were twins, 2, 4, 6. The last 6 children were fucking sets of twins, y'all. Big M, what is sexual battery? What, like, I heard, like, I don't know. Like, I'll look it up, but do you know?
I guess they force themselves. It's like rape or, yeah. Battery is like when you beat, force, fight. That's battery, right? Sexual battery.
Like, I was taught that assault is like boom, I hit you, right? Battery would be like if I threw something at you. If I took my shoe off and threw my shoe at you, that's battery.
To me, anything with your hand, anything is hitting somebody's battery.
Right, and in Ohio, they have all these weird different words and shit. But again, I just found that interesting. I was like, I just never heard of sexual battery, but this is a little bit of a newer one. I wanted to cover this one because they said there's a hearing, and that one was a day old. This one just came out a couple minutes ago, so we're gonna go with the crime fix.
He was unwillingly kept in this home without really any escape himself.
New charges for the 4 Siders family members found in a home with 16 children. We're looking at the charges related to those children who've been part of a secret investigation before and what could happen to their grandparents. As the father of the 16 children appears in court for the first time in weeks. I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. After the Vinton County, for 2 of the 4, the legal jeopardy has got. The legal trouble for 4 members of the Siders family is far from over. For 2 of the 4, the legal jeopardy has gotten much worse. For the other 2, it's improved just slightly. These developments came after the Vinton County grand jury met and returned indictments against Gary Siders Jr. and Elizabeth Siders for sexual battery and unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. The charges are not related to allegations involving their own children. Gary and Elizabeth were also indicted on 19 counts of child endangering, ranging from second-degree felonies to third-degree felonies and some misdemeanor counts. Their legal situation is incredibly serious, even if the child endangering charges are reduced just slightly. And today, Gary Siders Jr. appeared in court in Vinton County for a last-minute hearing. He pleaded not guilty to all charges, including the new sex crimes charges he faces. Gary Jr.'s attorney is challenging his mental competency. Judge Rogers raised his bail from...
See, I have a question. Why do these people always go with the I'm insane? Like, is that every single case we cover, Big M, it's all my mental. But they ain't doing shit to take care of their mental until they get in trouble. That really fucking grinds my gears.
$300,000 to $550,000. Gary Jr.'s parents, Gary Sr. and Christina Siders, still face child endangering charges, but the level of charges they face has been reduced. Both elder Siders had faced 16 counts of child endangering, felonies of the second degree, when they were arrested, but now Gary Sr. faces 16 counts, 10 felonies of the third degree, and 6 counts are now misdemeanors. His wife, Christina Siders, faces 19 counts of child endangering, 2 F2s, 10 F3s, and 7 misdemeanors. According to the indictment, the alleged abuse and neglect took place from June 2022 through June of 2026. This is still a very serious situation, no doubt, but the elder Siders, they lived with their son and daughter-in-law and the children prior to their move to Vinton County, and Children's Services was involved with them then, although Gary Sr. didn't appear to be a part of that investigation. The children pulled from the house on Omer Street. They're now in therapeutic foster care, thank goodness, and Vinton County is seeking permanent custody of the 16 children. That means the kids were in bad shape and they need a lot of help. And it also means if the county is successful in its bid for permanent custody, Gary Jr. and Elizabeth, they're never getting the kids back. Back in 2020 and 2021, the state of Ohio...
Please don't ever let them around any children. 16 kids, y'all, were found in a 12 by 12. If you can try to picture that, not even 2 kids should be left alone in that fucking, let alone 16. So, and then they have charges of sexual battery not involving their kids. Yeah, Big M?
Oh, yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, that's crazy. You said the same thing I'm about to say about the other 2 kids and they're not even their kids. And that's diabolical. And it was like, just by the grace of God, they found those kids in enough time because 2 of them was going to die within 24 hours.
That's fucking crazy. God is good. Because like you said, the youngest, which actually would be a set of twins, they're both the same age, 18 months old. That's the youngest set of kids. And then they had an 18-year-old. And again, Big M, we have two new faces, to a brother-in-law and a cousin. I feel like, again, this is my opinion. I feel like something was going on with, and I feel like that's gonna be their children is gonna be their victim, and their kids are gonna be the cousin and the brother-in-law's victims.
I think their kids, because one of them have 19 charges or 20. One, I think the uncle, the brother-in-law, has like 20 or something charges on him. Or
I ain't seen. I thought it was only 16 each, but I ain't seen their charges yet. So that go. Is that 16 kids?
No, the uncle. I mean, yeah, the brother-in-law. He has 20 charges. So it's like
Crazy.
him, more kids. Probably they 16, but then they would be just they have boys and girls. So I don't think it would be.
What if they're getting charged for their own kids?
Could be.
Lord, Father, we need you to heal families today. Holy shit.
We living in the last days. I keep telling y'all.
Hey, motherfucking man, I'm with you when you're right, Big M. That is definitely, I'm with that statement. Crazy work. Let's keep listening. Justice for these 16 kids and the other kids. By golly, this is crazy work. This is disgusting.
They planned to take custody of the 9 Siders' children. There were only 9 then, but removing them wasn't an option at that time, according to court records. So the court granted Children's Services request for protective supervision, which allowed a caseworker to help Gary Jr. and Elizabeth complete a case plan and keep their children. Gary Jr. and Elizabeth received.
This is the craziest part. Big M. What?
They tried to help them, but they should have been took them kids, because they said the last house was the same way as this house was.
I'm gonna say this, Big M. You can't tell me that worker wasn't scratching her head or her ass. Like, what the fuck?
Your job taken.
I hope that they're investigating that shit, because that's the what? So there's only 9 kids, because I'm gonna remind you guys, the last 3 sets of pregnancies, she was pregnant with twins. I can't believe that CPS was even involved in nothing. They fucking worked the program and got their kids back. Big M, I'm going with no, because if Elizabeth could work a program with CPS, she manipulated the system, she's not a victim. I didn't hear you, but I would say that I just kind of had that thought, like, wait a minute. If her and Gary worked a program, did he do all her work for her?
I didn't have nothing to say.
That's all right. That's okay. I would say this. I was leading on maybe yes or no, but I guess I'm a little more towards no. She isn't a victim because of this right here.
Wait.
This crazy.
They said she completed the program.
She completed it.
She didn't complete the program.
Oh, wait, we got somebody else. Let's go. We got someone backstage. We got Wheezy backstage. Hold on, Big M. Let's go. Hold on, Wheezy. Hold on. Let me add you up here. What's up, Wheezy?
What's up, guys?
What's up? Before we get back into Big M, meet Wheezy. Wheezy, Big M.
I've been hearing all about you, Big M. How are you?
Thank you. I'm okay. And you?
I'm doing good. God bless you, sis.
God bless you too.
Wheezy, were you able? Do you got anything to say about this case? And if you want to, you can rock up here on the panel while we keep getting into it and going to the Nolan.
You could keep going. I was listening to it a little bit, but then I started helping Kason with his homework. So, y'all could keep going. If I hear something, I'll pop in.
All right. So if you want to speak, just like so I can see what's going on and I can pause. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right, Big M, y'all ready? Let's rock it out. If y'all want to join, it's pinned. Come on up here and tell us how you feel and what you think. Right now, we're on the Ohio case. Justice for these 16 kids.
received a notice that stated, an adjudication of abuse, neglect, or dependency may result in an order of temporary custody. An order of temporary custody will cause the removal of a child from the legal custody of the parent until the court terminates the order of temporary custody or permanently divests them of their parental rights. When a complaint contains a prayer or request for permanent custody of a neglected or dependent child, the parents of said child are hereby notified that the granting of such permanent custody takes from the natural or adoptive parents all rights, duties, and obligations of a parent, including the right to consent to an adoption of the child, to inherit from the child, and the right of the child to inherit from the parent. Children's Services wasn't requesting permanent custody of the children back in 2020 and 2021, but they were on notice that it could be a possibility. Children's Services opened a case in 2020 after receiving a complaint from an online school that some of the children were supposed to be attending. Records showed the kids were barely logging on to online school and were essentially illiterate. The oldest at the time was 12. That case was closed and another was opened later that year after doctors found high levels of lead in 4 of the children's systems. They were living in this house on Honeysuckle in Cheshire at the time. There was a concern that one of the kids was being abused because the child had bruising on the back of her thigh. That case.
Big M, this is crazy. So we've not only seen the house where they found the kids, we've seen 2 different houses. So they worked this program, damn near get their fucking kids took, right? And terminated. It's that bad. It's got to be bad. I'm just saying. So in my opinion, if you even get a call, it should be a big deal.
I got one for you. The 12-year-old can only count up to 12.
That's crazy, dude. And I hate that they use that word illiterate, but that's crazy. All them babies were illiterate, y'all. Do you think she could only count to 12 because she was only 12 years old and she just like remembered her birthday years or something?
I don't know. And then the younger, I'm sorry. It was the younger kid. The young one, the 7-year-old, was the one that couldn't count to 12 and didn't know they sound. No, the 12-year-old didn't know her sounds. Like the A, E, I, O, U, yeah, didn't know the vowels and all that. And she did a lot of stuff.
This is crazy, y'all. Because I remember, Big M, when this case first came out, I remember they said that the police showed up for Gary on indecent exposure. We were like, what the fuck? But they were lying the whole time because obviously, whatever. They were there to do a DNA test because he had some SMEX charges coming. And they just happened to stumble upon these 16 children. And I always said from day one, I'm like, ain't no way SMEX stuff ain't involved. You know what I'm saying? I was like, ain't no way. And especially if they showed up for indecent exposure, which was a lie because they didn't want to tell us, because it could have hindered the case. But this is just crazy now in America in these days, how even a woman or a man that produces children can do the unspeakable to their own children. Their own. Like, what? I can't even imagine, she had 16 kids and she just has them locked away in a room. That shit is I got goosebumps, y'all. That shit is sad. It's not like they kidnap them or nothing. Their own shorties.
Case was closed after Gary Jr. and Elizabeth completed a case plan and they kept the kids. For some of that time that this was going on, the grandparents of the children, Gary Siders Sr. and Christina Siders, were living with the family and the kids. Only Christina Siders' name came up in the investigation. Gary Sr. and Christina, they looked pretty good in this photo posted on Facebook back in 2023. And even in this photo, believed to be from 2024, posted by one of their daughters on Facebook, Gary Sr. and Christina looked clean and healthy. It was taken outside of the house on Omer Street. So what happened in just a few years or even a couple of years? Family members have claimed on social media that Gary Sr. and Christina didn't live like this, but apparently they were living like this. And one family member told a West Virginia TV station that they were kept at arm's length from the family. The prosecutor says the family was hiding Gary Jr. and Elizabeth's 16 children. But let's focus now on Gary Sider Sr. specifically, Grandpa. You can tell when you look at the jail booking video that Gary Sr. is not well. He's in a wheelchair.
Real quick, everybody, he is out because he was his health. But he's free. A lot of shit could happen in 2 years, y'all. What do you think happened, Big M?
The daddy got sick, and then Junior took over, and the house went to shit.
Well, you know, the grandma, one of the CPS reports, the grandma said that it was all true, but then redacted her statement. This is crazy.
She said, what was all true?
What was being said about like the neglect and shit like that.
But she was supposed to be the one that's supposed to have been teaching them, homeschooling them, was supposed to have been her.
Right? And it's like, bitch, how dare you? Because it's like, you were there. You didn't do shit.
Because Elizabeth, she don't have a education. I'm not saying that she can't raise kids with education, but I'm just saying she didn't try to do anything like housework and nothing like that. No, I guess no one taught her that. Because this
Doesn't even look like she showered.
Yeah, it's not the first house they lived that looked like this.
You see that house, Big M?
Yes, please don't show it again.
Man, everybody pray for them 16 kids, y'all. They're in therapeutic, what is it, foster care? I didn't even know there's such thing.
Yep, therapeutic foster care.
I didn't know. I thought foster care was foster care.
Nope, you have some people that are specialists that does that.
And when he appeared in court, he didn't appear to totally get what was going on. His mental competency
I don't
has
know
been
what
questioned.
happened, but I can't
There
hear
are
nothing.
other questions about.
Wait, you can't hear nothing?
I can't hear the news clip. I don't know if anybody else can. I could hear you talking, but I can't hear the news clip.
Big M, can you hear it?
Play it and we start again.
Grandpa too. Physically, he didn't look great.
Yeah.
Is it possible that Gary
Still can't hear it, Wheezy?
Yeah, I heard it.
No.
Here, go out and come back. Go out and come back.
Sider Sr. was being neglected in some way? Charges have not been filed related to that possibility. The prosecutor has said that Gary Sr. and Chris.
Wait a minute, Big M. So maybe out of all these people, it looks like Mr. Jr. might be the victim. Woo!
What?
They just said that charges haven't been brought up yet, but it was like he was neglected because they said that he was he didn't even, they're talking about his condition and how he didn't know what was going on at court, and they're just talking about how charges might come for neglect for him.
Oh, Senior is the victim. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to say, don't say Junior, because Junior.
Oh no, hell no.
No, you said Junior was the victim. I was like, hell no, Junior.
Oh, I meant to say Senior, y'all. My bad. I redact that.
Don't play with me.
Wheezy, let's see if you can hear it now.
Christina were the only ones receiving government benefits in the house.
Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it, but it's okay. I'm just chilling with y'all.
What the fuck? How come she can't hear it? That's weird.
I don't know. I was hearing it a while ago, and then it cut me off. I don't know, but it's okay.
All right.
Don't stop in the count of me.
All right. Well, we appreciate you.
A hearing date has been set on Gary Siders Sr.'s competency evaluation. We'll get to that later in the show. If you love digging into the details,
complaint to the amended complaint, now to the indictment, the charge, whether it was Social Security or other state benefits, are being used essentially to finance the renting of this home, utilities, food, what have you. And if this is an individual who himself is not all there or has significant mental decline or issues, it's entirely possible that he was unwillingly kept in this home without really any escape himself. It's hard to say. Again, this is all prognostication, but it's hard to say what his involvement was. I can tell you this, based on my brief interactions with him, as well as the evaluations that are being done this far, and some other sort of corollary or other information I've received from family and what have you, it appears that there's been a pretty steep mental decline for Mr. Sider Sr., such that I don't think he was really potentially aware of what was going on at all. So when I talk about someone who himself may have been victimized, it's entirely possible that he was in this house in a state of mental decline, such that he was not able to really protect.
Hello.
Wait, I wanted to
nearly
get to,
2 months after state agents discovered 6
I want to kind of get into the new charges a little bit. You know what I'm saying again?
Yeah, I was about to say, what if the grandmama didn't live there? What if she stayed somewhere else? Because she was too clean.
That could be the case, but still, that's even worse. Like so that's even worse, Big M, in a sense, because you wouldn't stay there. You knew they were staying there and had your own shit. That's even worse, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, I'm like, because remember the thing I said, her socks was clean. She looked clean. It was like everybody else looked dirty, but she was clean. What if she would leave and go somewhere else and then come back in the daytime?
Hey, anything's possible with these folks. But again, you were right. You are right, because I remember you pointed out to me. You said, "JJ, when you watch it, look at her socks." This be deep, y'all. Sometimes you gotta just look. It could be the littlest shit. But again, how the fuck were her socks so clean? Amen, Big M.
In that dirty ass house, you know she didn't walk on those. No.
Man, there's no way dude, I'm talking about them bitches look brand new out the bag.
That part. And you see
And
everybody all shabby.
We know the jail didn't give them that, because the jail socks ain't even that fucking clean.
And everybody else had an orange flip-flops. My bad.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my show. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who has been watching my videos, disturbing stuff. This episode of Brian and I've been covering in 18. It turns out there are actually 3 parallel investigations happening. Investigators started out investigating allegations of child abuse in December of last year. That led to charges against 2 men. And this is interesting. These men are names that we haven't really been focused on before. But the 2 men who were charged are Josh Saunders and Brandon Henderson. And then while investigating them, investigators began looking into Elizabeth and Gary Siders. That's according to NBC4. And they say that Gary Siders Jr. and Elizabeth Siders have now both been indicted on 2 counts of sexual battery and 2 counts of unlawful conduct with a minor. We don't know who the victims of the sexual abuse are, which is pretty typical. Like, it's, you know, that kind of stuff remains secret, especially since they are minors, it seems. But officials said the victims were not the couple's children. According to NBC4, records show that Henderson, remember, he's one of the new names, Brandon Henderson, one of the new guys who was arrested, that he is
Quick, Henderson and the other guy is a cousin and the brother-in-law of Gary. Okay, guys? The plot always thickens. Prayers for them children, y'all. Prayers for the children.
part of the larger Siders family. Exactly what that means, I'm not sure. It's confusing. Authorities are being very, very tight-lipped. They're just giving out really the basics of this information, which I'm going to have, again, Kim Dagonia on in a second to help us kind of piece some of this together. The Ohio Attorney General and the sheriff both released pre-recorded video statements reacting to these indictments. I want to play you a little bit of that.
These cases began as an investigation into family child sex abuse. Law enforcement sought the DNA of Gary Siders Jr. related to the child sex abuse case. Once Siders Jr. was located, search warrants were executed to...
Big M, I have a question. If they needed his DNA, was one of the victims like had a child or like what? Like maybe
I do believe so, but they didn't say anything like that.
I'm catching it like, wait a minute, if you're going to get his DNA, unless this happened the night before or within like 48 hours, what are you using his DNA to convict him for? Whoa.
secure his DNA for genetic testing. Upon serving the search warrants,
They say genetic testing, Big M. Does that mean? I'm gonna look it up. Genetic testing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick. This is crazy.
That's a DNA, your genetic testing, because it takes your DNA, because your genetics is signed to you or your family trait, but yours is there.
And this girl's got to be underage, Big M.
Yeah, she's 10 years younger than them.
Wait. Wait a minute. I thought you said 10 years old. No, there's no way.
No, so she's 10 years younger than them or more. That's what they said.
Well, they're 32. There's no way she's 22 unless she's slow.
No, they said she's 10 years or more younger than them.
I mean, if she's been held captive in the house like that, then she is going to be a little bit slower no matter the age.
Man, this is crazy, Big M. I just caught that about the fucking DNA. I'm like, wait a minute. I had to pause it. I'm like, wait a minute. This crazy, y'all. Justice for them babies. Let's keep listening. This is, excuse me. This is wild.
for the child sex abuse case, the existence and condition of the 16 children at the Omer Street house became known. The child sex abuse cases involve intra-family relations and do not pose a risk to the general public, and I would also add, does not involve human trafficking. This case all started with diligent Dollar General clerks calling authorities with concerns over children they observed. We ask the public to be mindful of the circumstances around them, especially involving children. We continue to ask for the public's respect for the rights and privacy of the child victims in this case.
Fucking men, y'all. If you see something, you say something. Especially if it's involving the shorties. You fucking say something. I don't give a fuck, because I am every time.
Information obtained in this investigation prompted BCI in March of 26 to open a second investigation, this one involving allegations of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. There have been a lot of speculation and questions regarding the June 30th presence on Omer Street in Hamden. These indictments provide some insight into the ongoing investigation. However, to preserve the integrity of the ongoing investigation and to protect the victims, I conclude my statement here.
So just back to the House of Horrors for a second, and what was found inside after investigators showed up with a search warrant for the sex abuse investigation. I'm going to get more into the new stuff in a second, but I want to just kind of back up for a second and remind you guys the victims were 18, 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4-year-old twins, 2-year-old twins, and 1.5-year-old twins. The parents and grandparents were arrested. 73-year-old Gary Siders, 66-year-old Christina Siders, and then, of course, there was 36-year-old Gary Siders, the second, and 33-year-old Elizabeth Siders. So with the sex abuse...
Easy, were you trying to say something?
I'm just wondering, like, what? She's having all these kids. I mean, the doctors never said nothing. They didn't notice anything. I mean, like, what? Cause
Wheezy, listen.
nah.
Listen, Wheezy. They had 2 CPS cases and they had to work a program and they were about to terminate their rights and they give the kids back. And they didn't even take the kids. This is diabolical.
That's
And guess
crazy.
what? A set of their twins passed away, and there's a grave site for them and everything. And all these kids were, she had them in the hospital.
That's crazy.
Big M, I seen you come off mute.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot what to say. My bad.
No, you're good. No, yeah, Weezy said, what about? Yeah, this is crazy work. Let's keep listening, y'all.
Case now. There's a lot we're still trying to figure out because they only released basic information. But I want to talk to Kim Dagonia, and if you guys have followed my show, you've seen her before many times before. She's amazing.
All right, y'all, real quick. So, we've been live for 45 minutes. We're gonna switch lanes real quick because we need to talk about Nolan. Big M, what do you have anything to say about the Nolan Wells case, real quick before we get into it?
Nolan Wells is his name. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wheezy, do you know about the Nolan Wells case?
Just a little bit, not too much. Just what I've seen on y'all's YouTube here.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this
It
like big. Oh, go ahead.
it definitely reminds me though of the and I said this before, it reminds me of that Murdoch
Well,
stuff.
it's funny. I was just gonna get into that. You said that, and I was like, I can't remember. I remember the redhead. I remember what they all look like, but I couldn't really remember. And then a TikToker was covering it, and guess what? She brought up the Murdoch, and it kind of reminded me of when you said it. And I was like, and remember, she was like, they went straight into action to cover up. You know, when the boat with the girl, they went straight into, and it's kind of like I don't know. I don't think. I kind of think like it's like I don't know if it's kind of related because I feel like this was a plan. I feel like they knew they were gonna unalive Nolan before they even went out there. That's my opinion. Big M, what you think?
I do believe it was a plan. It was a plot. It because they did instant cover up, but they were sloppy at it. They didn't think that Cito was going to release the audio, and to find out the audio is actually authentic and it's actually real.
I'm getting the chills. This case gives me the chills every time. Like the TikTokers, all the pictures were AI. Y'all, it's sick. Now that I look at them, you could just tell they need to quit playing in our motherfucking face. I know that. My question is, why is there still not an arrest? Why does Nolan's mom still not know what happened to her fucking son?
I'm wondering,
Boy,
like, it
USA.
like you say that they had it planned, but is there any like footage, or is there anything like kind of explaining on why they would have planned something ahead of time, like it, because it seems like they were all good friends. But I mean, I know looks can be deceiving, but I mean, was there anything that can back that part up?
I'm gonna say this: with friends like those, you would never need enemies. And Big M, you answer this question, please.
Well, I'm going to say that I think it was planned. It was the 3Ks initiation, the holiday thing. And if you look at it, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, after Nolan was murdered, another lady was hung on Remembrance Lane in Mississippi. That's just
And Mississippi holds the record for the most lynchings. And Wheezy, the answer to your question is yes. For them to go to extravagant lengths to AI and switch Nolan, and switch people out, and try to hide identities, the lengths that they went to cover this shit up. Hell yeah. I'm gonna answer that. Yes. Hell yeah.
But like, but I mean, like before they went out on the boat that morning or whatever, like, was there something prior before
Well,
they
I'm gonna
went
yeah.
out? Like, did they have issues or anything?
Well, one of the men. Oh yeah, go ahead, Big M.
Because Nolan Wells was hooked up with Miss Katie, a white woman, and all them white folk was around there. A black person hooked up with Miss Katie McCormick. I
And
believe.
and what about the football stuff?
Oh yeah, and that him and Bart was going for the same position. They played the same position, but Nolan was probably going to go pro before Bart was, because Bart is 21, Nolan is just 19, and his career was getting a little bit better than Bart's already. Nolan's stepfather or father, I don't believe it was a stepfather, father was in NFL, and people that he trained went to the NFL. He trained Nolan, so they thought that he was NFL bound.
That could give them a little bit of motive because he wanted Nolan out the way. And Nolan was humping on his girl from the past. And that's not allowed. Like, by golly, not a BLK man. And BRK, I'm not gonna say his name, but Mr. BRAT, his family's plugged up. I'm talking about his grandfather was the governor back in the day. That was all about racism, segregation. His whole court was indicted. He wasn't indicted, but they all for corruption it's bad. It goes, and so he's not gonna he's not gonna look bad to a BLK boy in football, cause he's not coming number two, especially to a BLK boy. And his girl, his ex-girl, it ain't even his girl, his ex-girl, he ain't gonna let that fly.
And we also connected to, the Turning Point USA.
They have ties to okay, one of the boys' stepmother is the judge on this case, Wheezy. How? One of the boys that did the interview, their stepmom is the judge on the case. They're plugged up so hard. But the thing is they're getting exposed, and I feel like this exposure has been great for Mississippi, because Mississippi, again, I'm gonna tell you, holds the record for the most lynchings in history. But this one began again. It makes me. There has been arrests in this case. There's been 3 arrests in this case. Guess what, guys? But not for threats. For threats to the white T judge. But Christina Wells, the mother of Nolan, man, bless her fucking heart. They're trying to intimidate her, because that's one of the tactics to manipulation. But there's no fucking arrest in that, because I don't know. Only difference I see is the color of the skin. But the white T judge who's been threatened, them motherfuckers are arrested, and they're in California. One of them, get the fuck out of here. Nolan Wells is his motherfucking name. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, they really connected in this. This case is going to be something. They want the mother to get rid of Ben Crump. I don't understand why they want Ben Crump out of the way so badly, and that's why they're not giving her any information to her.
I'm gonna ask y'all. I'm gonna say this. She's so wrong because she wants to know what happened to her boy. That's fucking crazy. No, it's because she's not privileged. Because it is what the fuck it is. That's the truth. She just wants to know. Her baby boy was found on July 6, 2026. It is 8/26/2026. And people in Mississippi know how the fuck Nolan died, but his mom don't know. That's fucking crazy work. And everybody wants to give her a hard time because she wants to know what happened to her boy. Only in fucking America. I know that.
You see the list they got of the people they're going to sue, defamation?
Did you see Al Sharp fire back on him voice?
You sue me, or you use a contact.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Nolan Wells bombshell. A witness tells us tonight, I went with Nolan's mother to the coroner's office, and this is what I saw. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Nolan is dead.
Could it be a decompositional change? Could it be something else like blunt force injury? It's hard to say at this point in time.
I find it
Bear with me. I'm gonna try not to come. No, it's not hard to tell. It's not from decomposition, folks. He has a bruise on the back of his head, and he was found face down in the water. Get the fuck out of here.
very difficult to believe, Dr. Kendall Crowns, that not one, but two medical examiners cannot figure out why he had deep red subcutaneous markings. Joining us tonight, an all-star panel, but first straight to a special guest, Josh Gill with the Cajun Navy, who, as you know, searched for Nolan's body.
As you know, Big M, how do you feel about the Cajun Navy? That's all I needed to hear.
Exactly.
We're gonna skip past this part. You know what?
Because
Josh, thank you for being with us.
how they gonna give a permission to go on somebody's boat? They gotta get permission from them, not from them. Duh. They can say, okay, yeah, go on the boat.
I want to ask this. How the fuck are they gonna use what people send in? You know, Big M? They're not these Cajun, whatever the fuck people. Like, there's a TikToker who went around and showed all the cameras. Why didn't the Cajun Asian motherfuckers go peep that and said they want people to send in pictures that they have so they can go through them?
Bullshit.
A tragedy did happen.
6
Nolan
weeks.
Wells is dead, and I'm going to find out how. But I tell you
Sure,
what,
but you're talking
I
about
am
6
curious
weeks.
about
This is
why no
This is
polygraphs have
isolated.
been taken. I'm just
Why?
very curious.
But why?
Many
Why?
defense
For
lawyers
what?
wouldn't dream of letting their
They're
clients.
not
be charged.
suspects.
Let me get to
Guys, and I'm doing it. I don't give a F. Who's in the comments? Let me see. I see y'all. Hold on. I know this might be unpopular opinion, but they maybe like revved up the boat, causing it to jerk. Fell back, head out the boat, and the kid scared, called the parents, and like this was what he was gonna say and do. Well, I like that. I like that your brain's thinking and you're using your criminal mind. But one thing is there was 2 fights that happened out on the island, and Nolan is heard yelling, and one of the dudes that was fighting is the brother of one of the dudes that did the interview, and we don't know why he wasn't part of the interview. He's a MMA fighter, and Warren said that his brother put somebody in a armbar, and we've seen what an armbar looks like. If you know, do UFC or whatever, you fighting. And Warren said it. His brother put him in a arm bar. Again, there's a little bit of truth in every lie, and these boys are not good liars. They overdid it. I don't know. They really overdid it, in my opinion, Big M. But again, I haven't been following the story, so I know you haven't. That's why I know you haven't been following the story. But yeah, there was a fight, and Big M, go ahead.
Yeah, but if they said the audio is real, the audio says "damn it, Bart." On the audio, it says him. So Nolan was on the boat. It was a fight on the boat.
And you know the recording. I watched it last night. You hear Nolan saying, give me my fucking phone," and then you hear somebody saying in the background, get off this fucking boat, get off this boat." Kareem, what up, though? He says, "Welcome back, Big M." Well, maybe he put in an armbar and got him to pass out, and he didn't wake back up. Yeah. Big M.
Nancy, you're turning what's not a criminal investigation and
He got something going on.
It's just the way the authorities are behaving now that makes you go, wait a minute. If you have any type of a critical thinking brain, the way the authorities are behaving has to make you raise an eyebrow. Take the boys out of it, because it's the people in charge that are at fault at this point. The people in charge continuously breaching their duty. The people in charge continuously just stringing us along. Acting like we're going to forget. Acting like, hey, you already agreed on the joint inspection of the phone. And then you're going to go send a deadline for her to turn the phone over to you? That's not what was agreed upon. Y'all agreed to let Dr. Mitchell look at the body, and then y'all just sitting over there with y'all's thumbs up y'all's asses, acting like it's going to go away. Hey, guess what? It's not going away.
Let's talk about the CETO call, okay? Or the CETO demonstration video, because that's what I call it. I was just sitting here thinking, and I was looking, and I continue to look over this video, and I'm thinking to myself, if that is supposed to be Wyatt sitting on the steering.
And everybody, let me ask y'all this question. How the fuck are you being told and on the phone with the CETO people?
And then the background don't even make the video.
Look, I seen the picture that I just seen that a post was posted, and you know how all these fucking pictures were fucking AI'd and shit? Well, there's a post from July 27th. And I don't know if it was from 2020. I think it might have been from 2025. But all the pictures that were altered, like the faces, like not in the arms blending, they AI'd this shit. This crazy. Jerry Ackerson, we got questions. Nolan Wells is his name.
Yeah, things like a Kareem. Spirits, yeah. I'm back.
Hey, Kareem, if you're still here, drop your link so everybody can go follow you. Everybody go follow Kareem. He be doing his thing on YouTube. He be doing his Zodiac thing, and he does do readings and stuff like that. And he be dead on. He be hitting it right on the nose. So, if not, I'll go get it. But if you're still here, Kareem, everybody go follow him. He be doing his thing.
Calling CETO, then why is the audio to the CETO call when Vicky asked him, what is it, the coordinations and things of that nature? Why say, let me go look? If he's sitting right there, where are you going to look?
Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
let me go look.
Now, that can't be the call for them deleting the CETO call, right? It can't be, because they're already being told. So what was the point of that demonstration video and saying that that is the actual video? Because Warren said it was the video, and Tatum posted it was the video of the specific. Attorney also said that that was the confirmed. But how so when they're already being told while they're doing in the demonstration to the CETO call. I don't know, just my...
Judge who hid Nolan Wells' phone strikes again. This time, it's with bribery. Let's talk about it. Right here in this photo, we see this news article published in July of this year that allegedly the judge who hid Nolan's phone paid $100,000, or tried to anyway, to
$100,000. Then it was in, I didn't let the boat take off from his phone, which no teen does.
Save that money for these laws.
From his phone, which no teen does. I get it. Why he didn't have it in the water. I get that. I dive, I swim. I just went swim.
Me and Big M even did that. Okay, that we even said it. That's fine. Okay. Nolan wanted to stay back. I said Big M. If this, we just said hypothetically, if this was me and her, you think I'm not gonna be like, hey, let me get my phone. Let me get my phone.
Because this day and time, nobody know nobody numbers anymore. Everybody goes just, straight dial. You don't go do no more like we did back in the day. You have to remember nobody's number. So everybody needs their phone. When a teenager, 18-year-old, come on.
Man, y'all are crazy. Like, and then remember, who is the girl on the island? Is it really Katie? Is it who is really the girl on the island? Because Katie said Nolan went with the boys, and the boys said Nolan stayed back with Katie.
Swimming with the dolphins with my twins, and yes, my phone was on the boat. But then I got it. I didn't let the boat take off without it. Then it was in the friend's custody for hours. Then we hear things may have been deleted because there's no...
And then it's crazy, guys. They shared location with Nolan, so when the mom got the phone, they were watching their location. That's sick. That's fucking sick. And remember, everybody that has Snapchat, I still had it. I went and looked. Snapchat sends everybody a happy July 4th text. Why was that off his phone? Man, I wonder if Nolan had a password, or who would have knew his password? Because there's no way. I don't know. Maybe he didn't like
Recognition.
Big M. Big M, that's why I love you, dog. Bada boom, bada bang, face recognition. Get the fuck out of here, dog. Or the thumbnail, or the fingerprint.
Yep.
Ooh.
No snaps, no images, no emails going out for hours on end. And the friends had control of his phone. So at least you can admit that's why people are curious. I'm curious.
Nancy, I think it's because people are out putting out misinformation, and they don't have the totality of circumstances because they haven't heard from the boys, didn't watch the interview and all of this stuff, and they feel that it's convoluted. It's very straightforward to me and very clear in many areas that the boys are saying they did not have access. Christine, Nolan's mother, is not saying unequivocally that things were deleted. She was surprised that things were not present. Therefore, she insinuated that things may have been deleted. But she did not really say that the phone was deleted. And the fact that they did not communicate with both sides, meaning that I wish that the Nolan Wells family would have communicated with these boys instead of me, would have talked to their lawyers instead of me, then therefore they could have gotten a good perspective. The boys made mention in the interview that I did with them that they told Christine, Nolan's mother, that they had his phone and his keys in their possession. Therefore, she came to get them. They turned.
I can't stand this dude. Because listen, they had to come back the next day to get the keys. Because, man, this shit is crazy. They didn't think the internet, they didn't think the TikTokers were going to break this shit down the way they did. Huh, Big M?
This mother sucker right here make me want to just shave his hair off. Just shave his hair. Just give him bald head. Because, he just...
I just flicked my screen. I just flicked him right in his face because he makes me cringe.
He makes me... Oh, my goodness. No, they did not tell the mother they had the phone. She told him that his phone was on land and the phone was with y'all. Hello, she told him that she knew the phone was at. Use her 360. Tatum, stop lying.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Let's talk about the Nolan Wells thing for a second. I was on a live last night, and this is the honest to God's truth. And I'm back with a Nolan Well update, and they're not gonna get away with it. We're finding out more and more and more. Put justice for Nolan Wells down in the comments. Like the video, hype the video. Let's get right into the content. Roll it.
I have an update for you in the Nolan Wells case. Nolan Wells' family has hired an audio expert to clean up the CETO call from July 4th, and there's one part people are really zeroing in on.
We received audio from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources on Friday related to the Nolan Wells case.
Right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you
Yes,
on
we are
Horn
at Horn
Island?
Island. Yes.
All right, is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We were sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
No, we're not aground. We are in a 17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water.
Yep, I just need you to answer these questions so I can get you over to the captain.
Okay.
How many
what's
adults
going
on board?
There are 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual?
I want to ask y'all a question. Just put yourself in these privileged ass boys' predicament. They're going down. They're both sinking. Does it sound like they're both sinking? Sounds like dude got an attitude.
Like I said, the picture that they showed, do not go with this thing. Now, was he doing that? And did he have to go and look and find out the coordinates? Did he have to go? He at the thing. He right there at the wheel, right? And he could look down on the ground and see how much is, is down there, right? I'm sorry, but
and then
I just get high all the time, so I see extra shit. So I'm just saying.
No, I'm with you, Big M. I don't know. I don't see a bunch of college kids drink drunk, knowing they need to use his face or fingerprint to get into his phone. If he lays there DEAD in a panic, I'd call my parents. Not saying the kids aren't guilty. I think they are, but no, I get it. I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from. And I like when people chime in. You know what I'm saying? But when it all comes out, I feel like your opinion will change. I feel really good about that. I guarantee you your opinion will change.
One of the parents was out there on Horn Island as well.
Grandpa Jerry.
And one of their mothers was out there too.
Yeah, he called her 8 times because she was on the south side of the island and didn't maybe have no service. It came out of his own fucking mouth. I'd be in a panic frenzy if someone I wouldn't even be trying to. Yeah, I agree.
Unless something was on that phone that they did that he recorded before.
They definitely didn't sound like they were sinking, you mean? Yeah, it doesn't sound like they're sinking. And then we're gonna hear him tell Bart, pull the plug. If you're sinking, why would you pull the plug? They were too drunk. They were ahead of themselves. Like, dude, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Crazy work.
This one of the dumbest criminals, but they're not gonna put it on there because these people are
privileged.
Exactly. Check the back
on the boat.
All right, bet I heard you.
Hello?
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7.
Good here. Another version.
All right, hold on, y'all. I want to share this with y'all. Shout out to Jay Morgan, Nerdy Pink Motherfucking Panther on TikTok. She had a couple of her pages there on her ass because she doing her thing. Shout out to Jay Morgan, Pink Nerdy Panther. You can find her 00 at the end of it, 1, 2, 3. But she has to keep ping ponging because they're on her ass.
On the Palm Beach, out at...
If you're a small
Okay, so by Morgan's own words, he, Trayston, and Wyatt were on the Palm Beach out at Horn Island talking to MDMR. Oh, and when was that? When did they do that?
9:45 to 12 o'clock era, about lunchtime. While we were on the water, we talked to a rescue guy.
Oh, you were out there until 11:50, you say? You mean 5 minutes before this phone call happened? Does that sound like a
That is crazy.
coincidence to you? Now, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to conclude that they were the ones who gave this information to Captain Bill Freeman. Okay, so by Morgan's own words, he, Trayston, and Wyatt were...
If you're a
You see, the more a piece.
I like... Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you say anything or no? She said, I think it was the parents and watch the Murdoch show. Man, it sounds just like the rich parents worried about their image. Again, I think their parents were in on it. They panicked. Again, Jerry Atkinson, remember, the chief said they don't need the tow no more. These stupid ass boys definitely needed guidance. And I feel like there was some people out there helping guide these ignorant ass boys.
You listen to the Cito call. She puts him on hold, and she's on the phone with the captain. And the captain says that they'll need help. The grandfather called and said they'll need no help. But he's on the phone with Cito still, so make it make sense.
Part, Big M.
See, I do my research. Yeah, I listened to that call 100 times.
Go ahead and listen.
Huh?
Connect you.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down there.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know.
Wait, Big M, did they bleep out Jerry Atkinson now?
Yeah.
I know you fucking lying. What?
We received audio from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources on Friday related to the Nolan Wells case.
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Yeah, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right. How many people, sir?
Like 7.
Good here. Another version. You can see that I have the Cito channel completely muted, so we're only listening to the callers. Then I go through and simply raise the volume of all of the chatter we hear at the beginning of the call.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and
Bro! They need to quit playing with... Nolan Wells is his name. Justice for Nolan. What?
See, many people don't know. When you call 911 to call emergency, before the phone rings, it starts recording.
As soon as you fucking hit that, it
It
starts
starts recording. You hit the 911, the last one, it's recording.
It surely fucking is. And she wasn't on the phone yet, y'all. So they didn't know. Because they didn't know. Again, I'm going to run it back one more time. This is not enhanced. This is not made up. This is the real call. Want me to cover him up? What? This shit is crazy. The kids was out on the boat alone with no adults drinking. That's a bad image for the parents. Already then that BLK kid passed with all those YT folks, and why call in sinking boat if they're, why not get in another boat and deal with the problem? Yeah, Wheezy. Again, this is crazy work, Big M. I got goosebumps. Nolan Wells is his name. Justice for Nolan Wells.
See, that's my first time hearing you want me to cover him up.
Dog. Remember the fucking life jackets in the front of the boat? All stacked up?
Yeah.
Get out the water. They're telling someone to get out. This is crazy, y'all. They're fucking playing in our face.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the f up! Damn it, Bart.
Susan, that was enhanced.
37 seconds of audio, two competing enhanced versions that don't match each other. A 21-year-old who drove a rescue boat and ended up defending his own name in court letters. A district attorney explaining, on the record, exactly why she stayed silent for 7 weeks. And a $50,000 reward offered by the father of one of the very young men who was there. This is the story of a single recording, 37 seconds long, and everything that has been built on top of it since. Tonight, we're going to walk through where that recording actually came from, what two different audio engineers claim to have found buried inside it, why a forensic expert says those two versions don't even match each other, what the subpoenas filed this week are actually asking for, and what officials investigating this case, on the record, currently believe happened to Nolan Wells. Somebody did. Hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it.
2 videos in one day, I must be a mad woman! With only 4 minutes of this video for me to work with, watch what I've noticed. Keep your eyes on this one and Warren, okay? Watch right after the first question.
What is your thoughts on that phone call to Cito? Some people have gone out and...
Did y'all see it? Did you all see them literally lock eyes? I'll do it again slower for you.
Some people have gone out and...
Warren wasn't ready for him to break eye contact yet. He wanted to say something with his eyes. Speaking of signals, because this guy really thought that nobody would notice. Now, I'm not sure who this guy is, but notice how he's wearing a hat that says Call Cox. Now, y'all remember that Bobby Cox is the mayor of Ocean Springs, and he's friends with these people. Cox is also the name of the lawyer that they hired first. Watch what I caught twice in 4 minutes.
That clip of all of us on the boat, who it is going to believe what they want to hear. If they want to believe that my friends and I had something.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we crack your super secret code, dude? We'll just do baseball signals, guys. They'll never suspect. Which is honestly just a testament for how stupid these kids are.
Man, I love Jay Morgan, you know. Wheezy said, I live by the beach and I'm always at the beach. I'm always around boats and people have boats. They're gonna know what to do. Oh yeah, these motherfuckers, they sat and gave us a lesson on the fucking, they know their shit. So, yeah, great. I'm not calling emergency service, that part. Question, so does anyone from emergency service just show up for the sinking boat? No, because Grandpa Jerry called the chief, and the chief told her, when Vicky called to tell the chief said, oh, they don't need a tow no more.
Why they were still on the phone? They were still on the phone with Cito.
Why she put them on hold, she said, hold on. She called the captain. They're on hold with Vicky. And the captain tells her they don't need a tow.
They have to have an adult sit in the interview with them and touch their hat. I can't wait for the rest of this interview.
37 seconds. That is the length of the recording that would eventually become one of the most dissected pieces of audio in a case that has already produced federal arrests, congressional letters, and a district attorney publicly defending her own silence. 37 seconds, captured on the afternoon of July the 4th, 2026, near the west tip of Horn Island, Mississippi, and not released to the public until more than 3 weeks later. A dispatcher named Vicky answers a call for sea tow, the private towing service boaters use when something goes wrong on the water. A young voice, one of the teenagers who had traveled to the island that day with Nolan Wells, tells her their bilge pump has failed. "We're sinking," he says. "Can you all please come?" Behind him, the recording captures commotion, overlapping voices, the ordinary chaos of a crowded boat in genuine mechanical trouble. Vicky asks how many people.
I want to say this. If them boys can't even sit in an interview without you know what I'm saying? Even Jay called it. These boys are stupid. They couldn't even sit in the interview without a babysitter. So I definitely think some adults are involved. And this is crazy work. And some of them adults being parents to these boys or related.
The original recording and then judge it with your own ears. I hope this breakdown helps. And my
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Brantley has stood firmly behind her work since releasing it, describing herself, in her own words, as someone who fears nothing. She has said publicly that she believes federal investigators, with equipment far beyond what any independent engineer has access to, could confirm what she believes she heard, and she has actively encouraged the FBI to attempt exactly that kind of enhancement. She has also faced significant pushback, people who claim without evidence that the recording
is take a distance, even pick up the
fingerprint. That states the 21-year-old has been able to, they believe in what words, whether or not the words are documented, for any conclusions of the online or investigators actually possess. Fried has said directly that he wants to examine the true original and the metadata attached to it before drawing any conclusions about what any enhanced version does or doesn't reveal. A retired FBI agent reviewing the same public evidence offered a separate but related caution, pointing to a well-documented phenomenon in audio perception. When a listener is given a suggested transcript before hearing ambiguous audio, their brain will often generate the sound of those exact words, whether or not the words are actually present in the recording. It is not a flaw in any individual listener's hearing. It is how human perception of degraded audio works under uncertainty, and it applies equally to every version of this recording currently circulating, regardless of who produced it or how sincerely they believe in what they heard. None of this proves the disturbing phrases aren't there.
Real quick, we gotta. Oh, wait. Oh, whoops. All right, hold on, y'all. No, the boat didn't wreck. Weezy. Shout out to the lady on TikTok, Jay Morgan, yo. I love her, yo. She did her big one, but I want to play a couple things from her. And Big M, she break down the E word, you know that E island. She be breaking this shit down. She don't give a fuck.
And do you know that they said no one has drowned on Horn Island in the last 6 years. And they kept saying that in the interview, people die on Horn Island all the time, drown on Horn Island. No one has died on Horn Island in the last 6 years.
Wells case, but as y'all know, they have been trying to silence me over and over. They sniped my main account. As you can see, I've tried posting this video twice today already. So if you think you're following me, make sure you double check and make sure that the check mark is there. But in order to see this information, you have to go to my YT page. It's Nerdy Pink Panda, just like my page. No numbers, just straight up Nerdy Pink Panda. And get this information out. Post it wherever you can. Tag other creators. Try uploading it on your page. Do whatever you can. I haven't been posting much on my YT lately, but if it comes to it, I guess I'm gonna have to start putting all my content there. Sometimes in order to go forward in an investigation, you have to go back to the beginning. And once I did, I realized we have missed something huge, y'all. And yes, I have already tried making a video again. All right, so according to one of the original MDMR reports, Captain William Freeman called the Master Sergeant and told them to locate and interview a female subject. And that's how we get to this girl, Lainey. Now, this has always bothered me because I'm like, why is Lainey's name in this report? Why was she brought up at all? Especially since, according to Lainey, she hadn't seen Nolan in over a year and was on a completely different island. So it never made sense to me. And then it effing hit me. So according to this report, on July 5th at 9 a.m., assistance was requested from Captain Freeman as part of the drone search. Freeman was transported to Horn Island, and at approximately 10 a.m. he tried 3 failed launches. It ended up being a software error, and he was unable to fix it in the field. So then at 10:30, Freeman requests that Smith come out and assist with drone duty. Freeman and another officer went and picked up Smith and transported him to Horn Island. But by 12:40, the first drone finally takes flight. Now, wait a minute. If Freeman was out on Horn Island trying to do this drone launch, had to call in assistance, go and get that person, bring them back to Horn Island, then when the F did he get this information about Lainey? Oh, wait, I have an idea.
Who was looking for Nola? Who was on the boat? Was it multiple boats? Multiple boats. Okay, can you explain that? Who was out of this group? Who was on what boat? Or who was on a boat or not going out looking for Nola?
So, me, Wyatt, and Trayson got in the boat. We got in the Palm Beach that morning, the morning after, and to the islands, and we were met by DMR. There was 7 DMR boats already out there, DMR and park rangers. We talked to them. We gave them all of our information. They personally asked if any of us were on the boat with him that day. We told them yes. They just said, all right, well, I mean, we got the area scoped out. And then after that, we just went up to the beach. I think we met up with y'all. Yeah.
Okay, so by Morgan's own words, he, Trayston, and Wyatt were on the Palm Beach out at Horn Island talking to MDMR. Oh, and when was that? When did they do that?
From 9:45 to 11:50, 12 o'clock era, about lunchtime. While we were on the water, we talked to a rescue guy.
Oh, you were out there until 11:50, you say? You mean 5 minutes before this phone call happened? Does that sound like a coincidence to you? Now, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to conclude that they were the ones who gave this information to Captain Bill Freeman. Again, why would they give Lainey's name if she wasn't there in that group that day? Especially when he was supposedly last seen with Katie, whose name, again, is conveniently absent from any report that we've seen. Now, this is about to get deep, y'all, because I reread the line again, now knowing that the boys were the ones who probably gave this information and not just some random good citizen. Specific wording says, Captain Freeman said to locate and interview a female subject that was possibly involved with the missing person on Horn Island. Possibly involved? How did I miss that? How did we all miss that? Because there's 2 other boys mentioned in this that they don't make contact with, and it just says possible names associated with Wells. That is very different and intentional language. Now, as I've told y'all, I've spent weeks learning the dynamics of all these different friend groups and who they're friends with online, etc. Now, this is Lainey. Now, most people have clocked this picture where Lainey is with a girl who is wearing the same swimsuit last 4th of July as the one that is on the boat with Katie. I'm going to try and do this in the easiest way possible. I have narrowed down the BFF group with Lainey and these girls. All of these girls have called each other their best friends and taken pictures with each other at some point or another. Now, none of these girls are friends with any of the Wyatt Warren friend group. All of them are friends with Trayston and Trayston's sister. Trayston's sister has best friend picture relationships with all of these girls. It's very clear that this is a core group of friends. There's group pictures with them, they've lived together, etc. Now, Kendall is the one in the blue and red bikini in this picture. But I found another picture of Bailey and Maggie here from last 4th of July wearing the exact same red and blue swimsuit that Kendall was wearing. So it's pretty safe to say that these girls coordinated all wearing the same bathing suit. Also found this picture of Lainey from 2 4th of Julys ago wearing this bathing suit. Does it look familiar to anybody? That's right, that is clearly the same bathing suit from the boat with Katie, with a face that's conveniently been blurred. Now, do we think it's a coincidence that 2 swimsuits associated with this friend group all ended up on the same boat as Katie? I'm gonna say the chances are slim. Now, Kendall seems to have a longtime boyfriend. And guess what his name is? Jacob Brooks, which is the second name that comes up on this report. And guess who seems to be Lainey's longtime boyfriend? Drew Johnson, the other name on this report. Now, Drew, unlike all of these people over here, Drew is friends with the Warren Wyatt friend group. Also the only one out of this entire group that is Facebook friends with Nolan. If this was the boys telling this information to the captain, why were they saying that their buddy's girlfriend was possibly involved with Nolan? And why would Trayston be snitching on his sister's friends like this? Now wait, one of Katie's BFFs, Nevaeh, is friends with a Caden McGrath. Caden is friends with 0 people from either group except for Nevaeh, as far as I can tell. Caden is somehow related to a Joe, who is frequently advertising on his page for the Biloxi Bay RV Resort. The one that I was saying that according to the GPS coordinates looks like they may have dropped somebody off at. So in my opinion, Joe is clearly somehow related to the Marty McGrath, who was the one who apparently took all these people on this boat, including Katie, when this friend group was supposedly left on this island. And I feel like that language is really important and overlooked because left makes it sound like your ride left without you. Now, according to Joe's LinkedIn, he is IT for the Ocean Marine Group, which is owned by Jerry Adkerson. Aiden is also the only person I can find who is friends with Captain Chris Seth Ward, the son of Chris Ward, who was called by Jerry to cancel the CETO allegedly on his private line before the CETO call was even finished.
Shout out to Jay. How come the police ain't doing this shit?
They don't care.
Hey, Morgan, they can't stop her. Again, shout out to her. And I want to say this. She is a white tea lady, and we're all, all of us don't care about color, but some of us are part of the JKKKK still, and they do hate what's great. I'm just saying.
I also found a very weak connection through social media between Lainey and a girl who is in the same sorority as the girl who threw the party, Ava, allegedly threw the party. So what if Trayston's slick comment wasn't about Katie at all? Because I don't know about you guys, but we have seen absolutely 0 proof that Katie was actually out there with them. They have kept the story hyper-focused on Katie, and no other girls' names have really gotten out. But if Katie...
That's a valid point. Big M, I agree. Katie. Nah, Katie ain't involved, I don't think. It's
Yeah,
somebody
because
else.
Katie was the one who told the mother that that's who, because they didn't know that the mother knew Katie. So the mother called Katie and Katie told the mother that he left with the friends. That's why So that's why she called 911 instantly, got on the road at 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Because Katie said that Nolan went with the boys, and the boys said that Nolan went with Katie.
Yeah, see, the auntie came out and said that they know Katie for a long time. Katie been at dinners with them and all this type of stuff. So they didn't know that.
It had to be deep enough for, that dude to get mad about Nolan, being, you know what I'm saying?
He liked the Katie. I'm telling you.
And Katie liked him back.
Yes.
And he has been the red herring this whole time. I don't know. I'm still.
What did you say again?
Do you remember? It sticks out. When Tristan, the black guy, I don't know his name, he said we're the same. Mississippi is the same state that killed Emmett Till. He made that statement. So think about it. He was a black man hugged up with a white woman on the island full of white people. That statement was made and it stayed in my head. It's like that statement. Yeah, that one.
Another statement that he made, he posted, and I can't verbatim, it said basically, something, draw a line in the sand. Oh, wait, I think it said draw a line in the sand and pick a side. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells. What?
They send a lot of messages and let you know how they feel. It's like eyes open shut or something when they had that man. He didn't realize that he was being programmed.
See, what bugs me about the Tristan and the other friend, when they asked Javon what if he about racism, he was I was like, what? I don't know. But with friends like these, you won't need motherfucking enemies. I promise.
That's the one who said it. Javon was the one who said it. The black guy that like the racism. He was like, Ocean Springs, stick with Ocean Springs, and he don't know why Ben Crump and Al Sharpton coming down to Mississippi trying to start some shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm like, really?
Yeah, and then fuck, I can't remember. But no, if it comes back to me, I'll remember. But yeah, this I don't know. I don't know. With friends like these, you would not need enemies. Nolan Wells is his name. Justice for Nolan Wells. May he rest in peace.
Do you remember on Django? What was the butler's name?
Can't remember. Let me look real quick.
It was.
I love that movie. Remember when he got the whipping the shit out? Man, I love Django.
What was the butler day? That's what them guys remind me of. The butler on Django. I'm like, man, I thought this was this movie. It's really going on in 2026.
Got you. Hold on. It was Steven, played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep. Steven. All these Stevens down there.
All these Stevens down there, right?
I'm still trying to piece through. I'm still trying to figure it out because there's clearly a chunk that is missing. I have very important information about the Nolan Wells case, but as y'all know, they have been trying to silence me over and over. They sniped my main account. As you can see, y'all, they are not even letting me say his name anymore without giving me a violation or making my video ineligible. I need you guys to go to my YT page and watch the information that I found. Help me spread the word about it. This is my 4th attempt to try and post something today. YT is my 4th attempt to try and post something today. YT page is Nerdy Pink Panda. Straight up just Nerdy Pink Panda, no letters or anything. Go watch it and come back. I have very important information about the Nolan Wells case, but as y'all know, they have been trying to silence me over and over. They sniped my main account. As you can see, I've tried posting this video twice today already. So if you think
Hold on, y'all. We finna go check out her YouTube. I didn't know she had a YouTube. Hold on. What? Because I ain't been able to. They've been on her.
Get out of my head. I was right there typing her page.
Oh, I'm in it. We own it. We finna check her out. And I'm subbing. Everybody subscribe to J. I'm about to put it in the chat. I'm subbing. Here's her page. I'm about to put it in the chat because this woman did her damn thing. I don't give a fuck. Everybody go hit subscribe to her page. This is where she's been doing everything. She's got she did a video today. Yes, let's see what she's talking about.
Okay, folks, let's get into it because I finally got my hands on the Al Sharpton defamation lawsuit, and it has been illuminating to say the least. Because y'all know that my specialty is those details, and clearly these people are not detail-oriented. I'm sure by now many of you have seen the picture that I posted yesterday with a mysterious red watered-down liquid dripping down the side of the boat. Now, none
Big N, that's crazy because remember, I did my demonstration. When I did it, when I told you there's 3 boats, I pointed that out. I pointed this out. Like, there's something running down the side of the boat. That's crazy. I'm getting goosebumps.
of us can definitively say what this is, but it's clear to me that some people have never gone fishing in their entire life, because those people trying to argue and say that the color is off, that it's too light, don't seem to get that fishing boats are specifically coated with something that makes things wash off of it, makes things thin, makes it easy to get things like fish guts out. But fine, if that's not enough for you, I'll keep going, because this TikToker literally over a month ago thought that they spotted this on the side of the boat. Now they noticed those drips, and full disclosure, they did run it through like a AI cleanup thing, and this was the result of that. And even when you go back and look at the older versions of this video, as the angle changes, you can see those drippy marks. But I even took this picture of Warren on the Triton with his fish just so I can show you what it does look like on the side of the boat when there is a red fluid. To me, it seems pretty obvious what this liquid is, because I've genuinely racked my brain to think.
Shout out to Jay Morgan, man. This girl be doing her thing. They can't stand her ass.
Of something else it could be, and it just doesn't make sense for like an alcoholic beverage because it's on the outside of the railing. If you look back in the original Cito video, this person here, who I suspect to be Ike Pyrone, was holding something in his hands, and I could never figure out what it was until we got the new pictures. Here you can clearly see a gray something in his hands. Well, going back to this picture of Warren with all of his fish, you'll notice that the Triton has a gray towel normally wrapped around it. Oh, why would they need a towel if they're in the middle of sinking, unless they're trying to clean something up? I also noticed something in this much clearer raw shot of the Cito picture right here. We see something dark reddish here and like lighter red over here. Now, I have no idea what that is. It could be a towel. It could be a swimsuit cover-up. I did notice, however, it looked like somebody took a tool and like colored right here. What I do know is if you look at the original Cito pictures and videos, there's nothing seemingly red here. But it does look like, however, is somebody's leg extending way too far into the console here. But again, can't say one way or the other what it is in the background there. What I can say, however, is remember when I said that the AI felt like it was being used on the Cito video to obscure the identities of the girls? Well, I was at least half right on this, because this is a third girl. This is not the girl in the blue swimsuit that we've been seeing before. How do I know? Well, by now we've all seen this picture, this video 1,000 times, right? Girl in the blue swimsuit with the backwards hat. Well, I have suspected for a long time now that there was somebody being hidden back here, and I was proven right. Y'all see how this girl is wearing a watch? Well, right there in the original video / photo is somebody back there wearing a watch. Once you know to look for it, you can actually see it. Make sure you got your brightness turned all the way up, but you can see that reflection of the watch right here. At the same time, the girl in the backwards hat is over here. There are 2 major suspects for this, one of them being Lainey, but it seems to me like the more likely suspect is probably Ava, the other Seymour Hudson sibling. And as you can see here, she does in fact have an Apple Watch that sure looks a lot like the one right here. Also found extremely interesting in that letter, remember how we've seen this picture? We never really confirmed whether it was real or not until Tatum showed us. So somehow Officer Tatum had his hands on this picture, and you'll notice in the filing, oh look, what do we have here? The exact same swimsuit I talked about a couple days ago and that whole friend group. So clearly this photo originated with the group that Katie got a ride from. As y'all know, I have said for a long time that I suspected that Katie was in those pictures and on that boat based on the swimsuit and the white hat that she's wearing in this picture that was taken on the boat of the people that came and gave her a ride after being left on the island. And I do think that maybe they joined this group because there's a couple of faces that look familiar. But I'll circle back to that later. I want to point out some more little stuff that I've noticed before we get to the big stuff, the meat and potatoes of this video. Like here, how I noticed that the cooler that was on the boat earlier that day by the sea tow pictures is suddenly got the handle broken off. Don't know if that's significant, but it's interesting. Also kind of surprised how nobody has pointed out in this picture that there is clearly at least one mom in that group. And I suspect that it's Katie Hudson Seymour because she is literally like the only person I have found that has a shorter haircut. I'm talking kids, I'm talking adults associated with this group. I mean, clearly this is a mom vibe. So what boat did she go out on? I'm also very confused on why this portion of the tide line in that far away picture doesn't seem to match up with this picture of the tide line. And sure, there's an argument where you can say, oh, it's just in heavy shadow, but I'm sorry, the water reflects the sunlight. You would get at least a color difference, but anyway. I also strongly suspect that the girl who's at the front of the boat is actually Warren and Carter's sister. Her head shape, her smile, all of it just that feels correct. But again, like, this is all my own opinion. Like, I don't know, you don't know. But the reason I say this is because if it's Katie on this boat with everybody, then that would make them the odd man out in this family affair. Notice how this boat is absolutely not sinking? Like, there's Wyatt still supposedly on the phone. Most of these people are standing in the same place. And look, you can even see Horn Island in the background. But this boat looks like it's about to go under. Guys, how did they magically get this boat to start floating without planing? Because remember, they're supposed to plane it to drain all the water out to stop it from sinking. Now, just the last little thing I want to touch on before I move on to the meat and potatoes is, anybody else think it's weird that the fingers are covering the picture? I mean, truly, when was the last time anybody recorded or took a picture and had their fingers over the camera? Like, especially with the finger, like, coming down over it like this. Like, I genuinely can't understand the mechanics of how they're holding this, because I know I haven't done that since digital cameras. So was this picture video also taken from that same digital camera that they all took the picture at the front of the boat on? One of the first things that piqued my interest in this defamation letter was this Apple Maps picture. Now, you'll notice in the factual background portion, they just say that it arrived at 10:50 on Horn Island, but conveniently makes no mention of when it left, because right here in this picture, it says 10:50, but 10:22 is the leave time, which is a half an hour difference from the 9:56 departure time we've gotten. That's when I started hearing the little buzzing start to go off. Because personally, I don't recognize this version of Apple Maps, so I don't know if this was the actual route they did, or if they just looked up another route and included it. Now, I'm going to go through this chronologically, so keep up. Because now, because of this letter, we know the exact time that the sea tow call was made. And guess what, guys? It wasn't around 4 like they told us, but at 4:48. So that would be 17 minutes after the GPS said that they left Horn Island.
But wait a minute, Big M, are you still with me? They last seen Nolan at 3.
Yes, ma'am.
They last seen Nolan at 3, and they had to get out. Like, this is crazy.
Yep.
Justice for Nolan Wells.
Island, which was at 4:31. You'll also notice at 4:48 they canceled the first call. Almost as if they looked up the number, pressed the link, it started to call, they freaked out, canceled it, then gave themselves a breath to calm down, and then they called. Now that would mean that by the end of that call, it was almost 5 o'clock. Almost 2 hours after they noticed the boat first sinking. 2 hours after they supposedly left Nolan on this island. Now, given how close this picture is to this cluster of boats, and this very casual pose that seems to be going on, I think it's absolutely possible that Katie and Orlaney called this group of friends and was like, hey, can you pick us up? Because we know that by 5:34, Katie was on the boat taking Snapchat pictures and having fun with these people, which just so happens to coincide with the 5:52 traveled into Fort Bayou time from the GPS. The Triton then returning to the dock at 6:06 p.m., which would be about 4 minutes after this picture of the guy in the red swim trunks that I think was Carter going out with this group earlier that day. Because I also suspect that this is Carter right here, based on the build, the lighter strawberry hair in the front, and then I think right here is backwards cap Katie, because remember how I said in this picture, it looked like these two people were cuddling up with each other. And by process of elimination, it had to be one of the girls in the blue swimsuits and the red shorts guy. I also suspect that this is Brooks and Kendall right here. You'll notice that it looks like he's wearing a very thick gold chain right here, and Brooks seems to wear this thick gold chain all the time. Now, there's no way for me to positively confirm the identities of these people, but it is a dot that would neatly connect these two boats. Now, fast forwarding to Warren's phone call with the Coast Guard that lasted 21 minutes, starting at 11:13. So that would mean by the time he got off the phone with the Coast Guard, it would be about 11:35. While he's on the phone with the Coast Guard, he and Christine are texting each other. She asked Nolan where Warren's car was, and he says at Jax's house. She says, "Where is that? Can you send me the address from where you guys launched?" He says, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "When was the last time you guys saw him?" 3 p.m. Now, this is not a picture of Jax's residence. He sent her the actual location of the boat launch, not from Jax's house where they all supposedly left that morning. Why would he send her a picture of where they put the boat in the water instead of Jax's house that she's literally specifically asking for? Then he sends her the pin of the house next door to Jax's house. Okay, so you've given the wrong address twice now, and then Warren texts her this. "We launched the boats yesterday evening and left from here this morning." Because wait a fucking minute, y'all.
I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan's not with me, and I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddies, and we went, filled the top of the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from Fort Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house.
No wonder he was stuttering all over that story. It was a fucking lie. Because you trying to tell me that the day of all of this, he didn't remember when they put the boats in? He had a whole story about McDonald's and getting the ice and everything. But this means that they put all of those boats in the water the night before, and then everybody came over and had a sleepover party with 10, 15 people. Let's face it, it was probably just a regular party. Now I know you've thought it, I've thought it.
Wait, begin. So basically she just crumbled his story, basically talking about how they put the boats in that morning. No, they already had them bitches in the water, man.
Yep.
Shout out to Jay Morgan, man. Let's go. Shout out to her.
A lot of us aren't even sure that Nolan ended up at Horn Island at all, which would explain all of the weird Photoshoppy pictures that we're talking about. Now, if it wasn't for Javon and the coach, I know all of us would be like, did something happen the night before all of this? Because why lie? Why lie about what time you put the boats in the water? Now, after the 20-minute...
Dog, again, what if he didn't even go out to Horn Island?
He did. His coach saw him on Horn Island.
Okay, I'm just saying.
One of his coaches saw him. That's why they said he knew he wasn't drinking, because he saw me talk to one of his coaches from.
The coach YT?
I don't know. I think he was black from high school. One of his coaches, and his coaches was talking to him. He said they had a good conversation. He didn't seem like he was inebriated or anything like that.
Hey, but again, I don't trust nobody that's coming out and talking because I don't know, but like but what? Because Big M, why did they Photoshop all the pictures, even the ones where he's in the hot tub and his arms blended into the hood, the hat? That's from a different day. I don't understand why they Photoshop, why they AI'd this shit.
They wanted to confuse everybody.
Yeah, I agree. Confusion, because confusion causes chaos, and you can't really in confusion.
They didn't think everybody had more sense than that to look at stuff.
Dog, Jay Morgan doing her thing.
call with the Coast Guard. He then calls Christine back for about a minute. Then at 12:25, Warren gets a phone call from somebody from the Coast Guard that lasts only 2 minutes. So a whole hour has gone in between these calls. Now, mind you, listen to Trayston's side of this story because there's a bit of a time discrepancy on Trayston's end.
I didn't wake up again until a little after 11 o'clock. And I was my brother coming in the room being like, hey, Warren's trying to get hold of you. You need to answer the phone. They look for Nolan. And I'm half awake and I pick up the phone. And by this time, nobody had came to the house to grab anything. And Warren gets on the phone and he's just like, hey, man, he's like, hey, have you talked to Nolan? Anything else? I was like, no, I haven't talked to him, man. He was with that girl last Monday. And he was like, okay. He was like, man, we can't get hold of him. We don't know where he's at. I was like, man, it's Nolan. He's probably just out somewhere with that girl. Like, get hold of the girl, you probably find Nolan. It's no big deal. And he was like, all right. He was like, but we're starting to freak out. We're getting on the phone with Coast Guard. I was like, okay. And at that time, he'd already talked to his mom, Nolan's mom. And he was getting on the phone with Coast Guard. And I need to be specific about this. I did not call Warren's phone. I called another one of our buddies' phone, and it was on speakerphone. They were all together. I was talking on my other buddy's phone, talking to Warren. He was dialing Coast Guard because he hung up the phone and was like, hey, this is Bob.
So Trayston says he gets the phone call a little after 11. Trayston's all like, oh, I don't know where she is. Even though he's friends with Katie. Like, he keeps calling her that girl, but they were friends. Katie and his sister ran in the same friend group. Mind you, he said that he had already talked to Christine at that point, but Warren told Christine that nobody could find Katie. So they didn't actually talk to Trayston or anybody else about this Katie girl before telling the mom that they couldn't find her. Then you'll notice in that story, he said that they were on the phone with the Coast Guard, and then he was like, oh, they're calling, I gotta go, hanging up. But we now know that that second call that I've gotta go, they're calling, happened at 12:30. So none of Trayston's story there is making sense. According to the very, very, very first MDR report, dispatch sent a call from Christine to Lieutenant Patrick Carone advising the dispatch of a caller reporting a missing male. So if Warren had called the Coast Guard by that point, spoke to them for 20 minutes, why didn't they reach out to MDMR? Let's not forget that the original statement from the Coast Guard was that they did not receive word of Wells' disappearance until 12:26 when the Jackson County Sheriff's Department reached out for assistance. And they later had to correct this to around 11 p.m., but they maintained that no formal assistance was requested at that time. Because it sounds to me like the Coast Guard wasn't actually notified until after Christine had talked to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, to which then they called Warren to get more information, but that call only lasted 2 minutes. Then we find out about 30 minutes later, Christine and Warren talk again on the phone at 1 a.m. exactly. Now that is extremely significant because guess what is happening at 1 a.m.?
They come back to my house at around 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, so you mean the same time Christine is on the phone with Warren? Now, mind you, he is trying to claim that that is when they came back to his house, that they had already been there, that they got the phone, and they went to Wyatt's house, and all that stuff happened. Wyatt called 911. But now we know for sure that that is not true, because Jax and his brother didn't call 911 until almost 3 a.m. And this is confirmed by Christine's text to Warren saying that Nolan's dad is at the house to pick up the key. So it seems pretty obvious that Jax is confusing the two times, and the first time they showed up was at 1 a.m. They found out where Wyatt's boat was, they went to that house, Wyatt called 911 on them there, and then they came back, just his father, at about 2:30, an hour and a half later. Which lines up with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office talking to the friends who were on the boat with Nolan that day and reporting back at 1:38. And yet Odom says here that based on the information provided, they don't think Nolan's in any trouble. They don't need Coast Guard, they don't need to search for him. He's probably just chilling at some chick.
With friends like these, you'll never need enemies. I'm trying to say, when are they going to make an arrest?
Not.
House. They even say here that Warren agreed to talk to a deputy or investigator, but for some reason talk to them on another friend's phone. Something tells me they more or less had the attitude of, it's just our friend's mom being a little overprotective. I'm sure he's fine. Oh my God, I was going to talk about something else, but I think I just figured something out in real time. I'll save that for another video because I was going over the GPS again, right? Now we all know that something has been fishy with these GPS coordinates for a while. Especially considering that the GPS doesn't seem to stop moving for a very long time, going at a constant slowish speed for 2.5 miles. At no point do they ever mention the stopping, the calling the CTO, all of that stuff. Why isn't the GPS like telling us about that? Now, at about 7:45, the boat was taken to the grandparents' house. Now, for like Warren and Wyatt and everybody to come back together later on, it means that like Warren and Wyatt had to have been the ones to take it there, drop it off, and then come back in their vehicles. Meaning that the Triton would have had to have been docked on land and like in a parking spot. It would just be sitting there unattached to anything on a trailer, right? Yet at 9:32 the next morning, the GPS was powered on. Then it was clearly turned off again, and then it was powered on again at 9:51, and the vessel moved 52 feet. Why and how did it move 52 feet? And the Triton doesn't go back out because Warren was on the boat with his family, and Morgan, Wyatt, and Trayston were on the Palm Beach. And about what time did they go out there?
About 7 o'clock that morning, we had all decided that we were going to go out on the boat and go look for Nolan. Wyatt had already had his boat still in the water. We were on the water from 9:45 to 11:50.
Oh, you mean the exact time frame in which the GPS kept getting turned on, powered on, moved 52 feet, powered on? Y'all, I think that these were the GPS coordinate points for the fucking Palm Beach. Because how would the Triton move 52 feet if it was sitting in a driveway at Wyatt's grandparents' house? And y'all remember, the Palm Beach left before the Triton did. They left Horn Island minutes before. Because again, according to the GPS, the boat was moving the entire time, and it was a good 17 minutes in between it leaving Horn Island and that CTO call. But you may be saying, Jay, the guy said that the Palm Beach was in the water already that morning. It couldn't have traveled to the grandparents' house. But remember, this is what Jack said when they said they wanted to go out and look for him that night.
Thinking about doing it that night.
Yes.
And why didn't you do it that night?
So we already called the Coast Guard at this point. We didn't have access to a boat that was already in the water, ready to go, other than one that I'm just not allowed to use at all. And I was still this close to taking it out.
So where was the Palm Beach, y'all? The Palm Beach was already in the water that morning. How come y'all didn't have a boat that was available for you to use? Because remember when they were like, oh, they're demanding the address of the boat, they were driving to the grandparents' house. Wyatt and Morgan were. And as it turns out, it's actually quite easy to transfer your GPS memory from one boat to another. In fact, it's so easy if you're doing it from one Garmin to another, there's literally an app you can do it on. Remember I told you literally Joseph McGrath worked for IT for the Ocean Marine Group, which is the group that is owned by Jerry Adkerson? Because my guess is they took the coordinates from the Palm Beach and put it into the Triton, but were so tunnel vision focused on the 4th of July that they didn't even think about the 5th. Because I've told y'all, those GPS plotters and everything, you have to do it manually. It's not like an automatic thing, and it's easily changeable.
Hold on, because that's a good point, because I was just going to say, how come they only show the coordinates for the 4th? Because if, in my opinion, they had to go back out and drop Nolan off because he was found face down. He wasn't bloated. Why didn't they show Big M? What do you got to say? What you think? What the fuck?
Nolan Daddy was out there on the 5th. They were searching the island. If I know a parent, I remember looking for my son, and I don't like seeing to touch me, and I had on some capris, and I'm walking through a field of weeds. I'm going in abandoned buildings, and yeah, so I know his father looked high and low on that island, and then to be found in the same spot that he looked at the next day. Nah.
Oh, so why didn't they look at the coordinates for the 6th too? That's what I'm saying. This like the 4th don't matter, because again, I feel like, if he did go out to Horn Island, they brought him back and waited until shit calmed down and went and dropped his ass off.
What does it matter if they look at the coordinates? The daddy works for IT, and the thing he could change that shit.
Right, they're too plugged up. This is sick.
I date a guy who's real good on computers too, and I know, yeah.
Dog, she said you could transfer the shit from an app. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh my gosh. Justice for Nolan Wells.
And we don't know what the Palm Beach was even equipped with. I mean, even the GPS seemed a little confused because there is a literal question mark in this report. Like, why was the GPS turned on 4 times in an hour? Especially here at 9:51, powered on, question mark, vessel moved 52 feet, and then it was turned on again 2 minutes later. So how did they move it 52 feet? Why did they move it 52 feet? Why did they turn off the GPS and then turn it back on? Almost like Morgan took the Palm Beach and dropped a bunch of people off. That would explain why there are so many data points that are not being accounted for in any of these boys' stories. Because notice, Morgan never tells us what he did after he left in the Palm Beach. Anyway, I'm exhausted. I have spent the last 5 hours recording this video.
Dang, I didn't know she had a YT page. I'm about to be on that bitch tonight, for sure. Shout out to her one more time. Here's her link. Dang, Big M, what you got to say?
Man, this is mind blowing. These cases, they just keep.
Dang, me and Big M ain't rocked together on YouTube for over 2 hours. It's been a long time, and since last year, y'all. And then again, we're coming up. Shit just crazy. I'm gonna just say shit's crazy. Big M, justice for Nolan Wells. May he rest in peace.
Justice for Nolan Wells. This is ridiculous.
Fucking ridiculous.
They is playing in our face. Real bad. But I do believe Ben Crump and Al Sharpton gonna get justice.
In the end, the NCAP or whatever, the NCAAP or whatever, But I do believe so somehow, some way. They're standing on business. His mom's standing on business, and I just feel for them. My heart breaks. And it's the hardest thing about being an advocate is trying to keep your emotions out of it. But some of these cases. We can't. I was just telling Big M on the phone earlier. I was like, I ain't really been this in tune to a case since, the Naziah Harris case. I be going to sleep watching this case. I wake up watching this case. Like, this case has done something to me, yo. And I don't know. It's hard to keep your emotions out sometimes, y'all. But until next time, I hope y'all be real smooth with it, real cool with it, and most importantly, as true as you can be with it. Remember, it's real fucking for real over here, raw and uncut, yo. And it's all love over here. Big M.
I was about to make a joke, but it ain't even about to be funny, so I ain't even gonna make a joke about it. I'm gonna say, y'all please don't sue me, okay? Because I ain't got no money, okay?
Yeah, don't sue me neither. I ain't got shit. So go ahead.
I'm just reporting on the facts, okay?
Right. We didn't accuse nobody. We're not saying who did it. We don't say nothing. We just talk about the timeline and evidence. But yeah, I don't got shit.
You guilty. Come on, you gonna give us my weed and that's all I got.
Right. They would have to lock for them to and really do something, they would have to lock me up.
They have to lock me up. Cause I'm still gonna say what I got to say.
That part. Again, I'm glad I asked. If I would have grew up in history back in the day, I would be in history books today, y'all. I believe so. I think I would be. I do. Because, yeah.
I'd be like Kuta Kinte, man. And they me cut my leg off. They be to fuck me up. Cause, man, I'm not doing that. I'm not working out there in no sun. You gonna have to fuck me up. You're not about to rape me either. Just kill me. You're not about to take no.
Stop.
I'm not going out there in the sun picking no damn cotton, taking care of your damn kids. I'm not washing your dirty ass drawers. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, you know what? Just for that, I think I'm gonna end it, y'all, with this song. It's been a while, but it took me 33 years to realize that this nursery rhyme is about adversity.
Oh my God.
What?
Doing that. Are we doing that?
Yes, go. Ready? The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again. I'm the spider, you're the spider. Let's go.
I didn't do it, y'all. But peace.
In my big M voice. Peace.